Hello, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Addison Willman with Martin Supply, and today I'm sitting down here with Dan Zehnder, another really accomplished member of our fastening team here. So, Dan, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Well, Addison, thanks for the time today. I'm glad to be with you. I'm glad to be with our audience as well. My name is Dan Zehnder. I've been with Martin Supply for a number of months, and prior to that, I've had 40 years in the fastener industry with my own business and a family business. So glad to be a part of this very exciting team.
Right. And 40 years, that's a lot of time to learn stuff, right? That's what we've been doing. So, Dan, today we're going to be talking about what it means to be a solution provider, right? That's a term that you brought to me not too long ago. Tell me what that phrase actually means.
Absolutely. Well, a solution provider is someone that sits down with a customer who's having either a supply chain issue or a management issue within their facility, and they want to do something different. They want to make improvements. They want to bring change to the discipline to run their business better. And the solution provider, what we do first is we sit down and we listen. We take in good notes. We ask questions. We then take all that back to our team and we digest it. And so we define it, we deliver it back to the customer, and then at that point in time, come together and deliver a solution. That solution is geared around what fits best for them and what their needs. Everything is custom made, custom focused for that facility.
Right. And a big part of these focuses and these talks are based around what a customer's budget is. Budget is really important. It's the bottom line. It's what, it's what limits or unlimits what many customers can do. So can you just tell me, how do you determine what that structure looks like?
Well, it's comes from asking a lot of the questions around what are all your processes today. So we capture all the costs that go into that, whether it be in-plant labor, transportation, logistics, receiving, accounting, reporting, their KPI management, the whole 9 yards. We gather in all that data and we say, okay, here's what you're spending today, plus the cost of the part. Believe it or not, part cost tends to be less than 20% of the total cost of service to the production line on average. We take all that information, we bring it in, and we say, how do we get more efficient? Again, what are their goals and objectives? And what do we need to do to bring to the table the tools to manage that and achieve those goals?
All right. And a term that you brought to me before we hopped on camera here is product mix. What is that? And when do you start considering that?
Well, different products obviously have different responsibilities or different functions on the line. A very small screw, for example, multiple pieces can go in a pan. You can get a lot of volume in a small footprint, small space. But we deal with some very large parts as well, hoses, weldments, and things that are very large that need configuration for possibly a special container. And each one is going to have a variation on it.
All right. So lots of discussions are had, lots of discussions with both the customer and the team. And the team is what I want to focus on a little bit now. So this is obviously a really big team effort when it comes to making these custom tailored solutions that our company is known for.
Yeah, we're very fortunate here at Martin to have a very, very strong VMI team that has a long history, many decades of doing this kind of work. We bring the best practices forward. Yes, we start with a standard template that is universal for most customers, and then we expand from that based on the needs of that specific customer. So we bring the team together, we evaluate the opportunity, we evaluate where the customer sits today, and we start pulling the tools out of the toolbox that says, here's what we ought to do and why. So depending on the size and scope, that's going to vary. If you're managing 16, 17,000 part numbers, that's going to have one platform. If you're only managing a couple hundred, that's a completely different platform.
All right. And so really when you come to a customer's facility and you start talking and analyzing about what they actually have in their facility, it's really discussing what kind of investment do you want to make into the future of your company. So can you talk about, what is that investment and what are the benefits of it?
Well, that's a very good question, Edison, because we start from the standpoint of where is it that you want to go? What don't you like about what you're doing today currently, and what can be done better? But where do you really want to go? What's the scope of your business? Hey, in 5 years we project to do this, and in 3 years we're going to do this. What are those pieces of the puzzle as well that need to come together? Once we start understanding that, then we can look at it and say, okay, here's how we bring these pieces together to understand what that investment ought to be. That investment, again, varies by the number of parts, the size of the facility, the complexity of that which product that they produce or assemble, a variety of things. But all those into consideration, we've never had a program now that we hadn't made our customer much more successful than where they were before we started.
Right. And when you invest in something, you want a return on that investment. So what is the main benefit to the customer, 5, 10 years down the line?
Well, very quickly, what we want to do is get efficient with the data. So what are the part numbers? What are the points of use? What are the configurations of each and every part number for that point of use? What are all the data pieces? We bring all that together and in a format that is manageable, auditable, and flexible. In other words, things change sometimes. If you have to ramp up production, you can increase those quantities in those containers or those points of use. If you're driving it down, you can make those adjustments there as well. So data development is huge. Probably number one to start. It is the number one to start with. And number two, then we get into, okay, now how do we accelerate throughput? So sometimes equipment and products that are produced on a production line, maybe they're missing a part, maybe something was wrong and they have to set them aside and go back to them later. We don't like that. We want to eliminate that situation and take that back to a higher number to get a good quality okay offline. When it's done coming off the line, it's ready to ship.
All right, perfect. And so I got one last question here for you. I know you're very involved with our vendor managed inventory or VMI program. Can you tell me how you choose who are the best candidates for that sort of program?
Well, based on the nature of the products, Addison, if you're dealing with the small components that the fastener side deals with it, a fastener customer is a very good candidate for that, fastener user, I should say, and other people that manage small parts, consumables, class C and D items, for example. Those are probably our sweet spot to date. Now, in addition to that, we manage other products as well, strapping, chemicals, a wide variety of things as well with the whole division, part of the whole team.
All right, Dan, this has been a great conversation. Do you have any final thoughts for me that you'd like to share with everybody? And also, where can people reach out to you?
Well, thank you again for your time, Edison. And you can reach me at Dan Zehnder, Martin Supply, at any time.
All right. And we've got all of that on our website as well. You can find our team on the website at martinsupply.com. But Dan, I think this is going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for your time. And for everyone else out there, thank you for watching.